What is up YouTube, Perkin welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today's video I'm bringing you guys another Gears of War E-Day video, and today we'll be going over the Gears of War little Xbox post that they posted yesterday when the trailer did come out. We're going to be going over it today and just talking about and going through it. So we're going to go ahead and start off right here. Summary: check out the brutal new trailer for Gears of War E-Day unveiled today during the Xbox showcase, which was yesterday. E-Day is an original story that depicts the horror of Locust invasion on emergency through the eyes of Marcus Phoenix. So if you guys don't know, Gears of War came out first. This one will be first of it now since it came out now, but Gears of War was the first one to come out. And they always talked about E-Day, even through later in the games. Oh, E-Day, how E-Day's when it all happened. And whenever playing through this, I'm like, they should really make an E-Day game, explaining and going over what happened in an emergency. And they're doing it. And I hope it's a good game, and shows really the intensity of what they been saying emergency is in the game. Gears of War E-Day was unveiled in a surprise announcement during the Xbox showcase today alongside an special trailer. The trailer introduced us to a defining moment in Gears of War series that seemed to free some locusts make themselves known with a brutal ambush from below against the world of Syria. Here we'll follow a younger version of the series' original heroes, Marcus Phoenix. Yes, he was in the other games, in the future games like on 4 and all that, but he was older. And Dom Santiago, our boy who died in Gears of War 3, one of the saddest deaths of any character I have experienced. So glad to see him back, and I hope they build on his story more to make his death more impactful when you do play him later. I'm going to go in that probably a little bit later when we keep going down. As they begin their fight against Locust invasion, this event is a catalyst for everything we know and love about Gears of War, and I caught up with the developers. I don't really care about that. Okay. We realized that a lot of the words we used to describe the franchise were about our fans also used phrases like brotherhood. That's the moment it all came together as heart of the Gears universe. Everything that happens is shaped by that day. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go right here. Bringing the monsters back. Gears of War E-Day is set 14 years before the events of the original Gears of War and tells a story from the Locust emergence day of Syria. As the game unfolds, we'll get to see how ill-prepared world responds to a threat like the Locust. The Coalition are being very intentional to recast the Locust not simply as foes but as living nightmares. These aren't your typical alien or zombie video games antagonists. They're mysterious, formidable creatures that dwell beneath the earth, tapping into our deepest fears. The design brief was pretty simple. Locusts are the monsters under the bed. What would happen to the people of Syria in seeing this overwhelming army of monsters and trying to figure out what are you going to do? Yes, confirming, obviously we knew E-Day 14 years before the new game. So with that, we could probably see a lot of characters that died come back in this game, since it will be a prequel. For example, there's a bunch of like the Carmine family. Those guys died in like other games, so they could bring them back as well back in this game. And then one I guess I'm more focused on him. Hopefully it happens is with Dom and his wife. So if you guys don't know, Dom had a wife that he ended up having to kill in Gears of War 2. What happened basically, I'm not gonna go like full into it. But as soon as the E-Day happened, a little bit after E-Day, his wife left to go to some camp and ended up getting taken by the Locust and basically captured the whole way up till Gears of War 2. She was captured the whole time, and whenever did find her in Gears of War 2, she was all messed up that he ended up taking her out of killing her to take her out of misery, and then Dom ended up dying in Gears of War 3. So what I hope they do is, since this is set on E-Day, obviously we'll probably get some stuff before the attack actually happened. I want to see Dom and his wife on screen, the relationship develop more in this game. So after you play this game and you go play through the other originals, Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, and you hear the dialogue of trying to find his wife, and then he ending up having to kill her in Gears of War 2, and then him dying in 3, I feel like if they add more, show the relationship more on screen in this game, since obviously they couldn't in the other games because she was already captured. If they add more to the relationship on screen and show them interacting more and deep diving into it, definitely whenever you go back to play the other games, is going to add more, you're going to feel more sad to their deaths because it's going to mean a lot more now since they have backstory on their relationship. When players experience E-Day, they see the monsters through the eyes and encountering them for the first time. The design team prior was fronting the Locust drone, which has slowly become a canon fodder as the series progressed. We transform the drone into something fearsome, physically intimidating, and utterly brutal. Handback notes, highlighting at its hand status just behind Marcus and Dom in an announced trailer. Getting the drone right was crucial. Everything else was the Locust were scaling up from there. As you see the new, or not the new Locust, but they're like, I guess, redefined image more graphic looking. The E-Day reveal trailer wastes no time in reintroducing us to Marcus as he engages in a brutal struggle with the aforementioned Locust drone. However, unlike our previous outings with him, this is the first time that he sees in the Horde sawing soldier, as we all know, that face off against an enemy like this. You can feel the strain and helplessness as he joists with an inexplicable monstrosity before finally fending it off with his retro lancer. Because you guys, if you've seen the trailer, he was struggling a bit. But nearby television set, it's the flavor of raw personal brutality and desperation that the coalition seeks to capture the Gears of War E-Day Marcus and the world around him are not yet equipped for the level of threat. The eagle-eyed fans among you have also noticed that the MK1 Lancer, the Marcus briefing wields in the trailer, features a detachable bayonet, which I saw. It's not the chainsaw-equipped gun we know from the series, Wilder series. So is the chainsaw not going to be in the game? Is it going to be the only Lancer? I hope they have the chainsaw in the game, because that's the one I liked. And to be honest, if they do that, I can bring you guys videos of Chainsaw Massacres of trying to complete the game, maybe just no using guns, just using the chainsaw and shit, because that would be a pretty fun video. Fawcett confirms that the E-Day is a story of many origins, including the Chainsaw Lancer. Okay, so looks like we are going to get the Chainsaw Lancer, but opts to keep the specifics of the stories to herself for now. Suffice it to say, we're not just learning how Marcus and Dom came to be heroes, we know in E-Day. The Chainsaw Lancer doesn't currently exist in our period, but it's not a Gears game if you're not chainsawing Locust. That's what I'm saying! Definitely need to bring that, because that's definitely, you know, helps the game up more. Fans will also immediately recognize the trailer's inclusive of Mad World, the Tears of Fears track, famously covered by Gary Jules, and he's in the commercial for the original Gears of War games, okay? Instrumental to talk about the music. As Marcus teeters on the edge in a fierce close quarter battle with the Locust, he swiftly outsmarts the drone by planting the lantern on the wall, disengaging the bayonet and downing his foe with a kill shot. He takes a moment to recuperate before plumping through the floorboards to what would presumably be his death at the beneath of a giant emergence hole. We've not seen E-Hole since Gears of War Judgment Day, because I remember playing Judgment Day, I remember those, and watching this canvas void swallow up an entire building with ease is particularly terrifying. However, in this moment, we see the reveal of young Dom Santiago reaching out to hop him, and for a longtime fans, it's emotional homecoming like no other. Yes, it is. Ooh, this is a good picture. I might have this as my background here on my computer. But yeah, Dom's death was one of the saddest things I've experienced in a video game, Gears of War 3. I suggest if none of you guys played it, go ahead and play it. And if go ahead and play it. You know, the older games, I guess, get used to Gears of War, see how it plays, and get used to it. But definitely the story too. Definitely want to go ahead and experience the beginnings of Brotherhood. The story is, of course, told from the perspective of much younger Marcus and Dom. While the pair are seasoned veterans of the Perennium Wars, the human conflict taking place before the series begins. There's a wholly new threat for the pair to navigate. The best Gears games have been super emotional themes, shared burden, belonging, trust, and loyalty, and Marcus and Dom have a really interesting relationship into E-Day. To give some background context, leading into the story of E-Day, Marcus and Dom are connected through Dom's older brother Carlos, who died on the battlefield with Marcus. The pair were best friends, so Marcus and Dom are in the early stage of forming a kinship over shared loss and navigating through emotions together. So they're giving us a little backstory on what's going on right now during this time period. We're telling the origin story of Marcus and Dom and the bond. This is the bond that defines the franchise. They're not the characters we know from Gears 1 to 3. They don't have 10 years of fighting and Locust between them. When the game opens, there's supposed to be peace on Syria, and they're trying to figure out life without the person they both love. People are going to see the formation of this brotherhood that is so iconic to Gears. So this is where they're going to start building their relationship. Dealing with the new Locust threat becomes a more pressing concern for the two friends over the course of E-Day, but those emotional beats will still course through the story as you play. They are a lot more vulnerable, and I think there's a really modern take on these two characters. There's a weight they can carry between them, and they create a really interesting tension as they navigating through their relationship. You may have this intimate story set amid this wilder backdrop of what's happening on the apocalyptic day, and I think for fans it will be compelling to dig deep and explore the bond and how it changes over time. Future of Gears, okay, here's talk about the future. Of course, this is the end of our ongoing stories in the Gears series. So if you guys don't know, there's Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, and then they did just Gears 4 and 5, which is Marcus's sons and their type of story. So I guess this is how they're distincting it. Gears of War is Marcus and like all of them, but Gears is the future story, and is by no means abandoning them. They're not abandoning those games, but the collective passion for such an iconic origin story was simply too great to ignore. The story of E-Day and the original origins of Marcus and Dom are such powerful, pivotal events that the Coalition couldn't wait to tell it. Which I agree. I'm glad they did this, because I've always wanted this game. We're super proud about Gears 4 and 5, and the stories were told. We're not retreating from the storyline in any way, but at this moment we had an opportunity to write our next step, and this felt good. I'm glad you did it. It's important to note that E-Day is not a spin-off, not even a reboot. not a spin-off or like a reboot. It's a completely new entry to the main timeline series, set early in the timeline. Those events of the game not only serve as an exciting origin tale of two beloved characters, but it also adds detail and context to this period that will resonate through stories that will follow. In E-Day, the Locusts are not foes, but our characters are accustomed to fighting. They are mysterious, formidable, and overwhelming, an unforeseen horror that Marcus Dom and the rest of the Syria must learn to deal with before it's too late. Everything that happens in E-Day will shape the future of Gears of War for the better. This is the Gears of War story you've always wanted to hear, and it's going to be incredible. Keep up to date for information. And yes, all of this sounds so good. And then what they could even do is, after E-Day, there's still 14 or so years, probably 15 so years between where Gears of War starts, Gears of War 1. So they could even add another game in between there. And hell, they could even do more. Well, okay, no, I guess they couldn't. I guess say after Gears of War 3, they can even do one after that. But they killed all locusts in that game, and they didn't come back until Gears of War 4. So I guess they would have to change that a little bit if they ended up doing it. But yeah, and all this sounds good. I'm excited for this game. Like I said, I've loved Gears of War. I've been a fan of it like ever since I was a kid playing them. Gears of War 1, 2, 3, Judgment Day, and then they got into Gears 4 and 5, which I like those games. I don't care that it's like a separate story. I just love the game, you know, the whole game in general. So yeah, Gears 5. I mean, people don't sometimes, or some people I heard don't like Gears 4 or 5. But I personally enjoyed them just because it's not the old characters we love. I'll still play the game when they do Gears of War 6 and you know when they do those characters again. I'll still play it. Doesn't matter to me. I just love the whole series and in general, and I can't wait until this game does come out. And there you go, everyone. That is a whole post. That is Gears of War E-Day. Now I just want to look through these pictures real quick to go over them. You see here, it's just normal pictures. The one I want to talk about is real quick is this one. And so you guys know what you guys can see in that background. You guys can see the big spiders right there. I didn't bring it up in the reaction video, but I want to bring it up now that the big spiders are going to be in this game. So don't be surprised if you guys do see the Brumac come in this game, because they usually always have Brumacs in the game. So looks like we got spiders, Brumacs. Don't imagine if fucking Berserkers come back, and we're gonna have some big enemies in this game. So be prepared for that. And this is where we're gonna end the video. Let me know down in the comment section your guys' thoughts on Gears of War E-Day, if you guys are hyped for it, and if you guys have ever played Gears of War before. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified every time we upload a video to the channel. Check out the description to a link to Discord if you guys do want to be part of the community, and a link to socials if you guys do want to stay up to date when we go live or upload a video. And until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out.